his life, and she's really got to ask herself sometimes to ask herself, is she steady? To be going steady? I mean, do you want to be honest? But honest, you know, one time, honest, one first just let's say, well, first of all, let's see if one day Johnny asks if he can stay from
3 important rules for breaking up.
Hey, welcome back to Between the Lines with Paige and Tiana, my wife.
Yes, this is episode
5?
I think.
Yeah, 5, I believe so. So today, well, sorry that it's been a week. It's just I was under the weather.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So I was under the weather. I was sick. So feel a lot better now.
He was really sick.
But
Don't worry, he tested negative for COVID.
negative for the Rona, positive for awesomeness. All right. Anyways, today's episode we are going to be talking about one of Tiana's adventures from 1996, I believe, right?
I think it was roughly 1996, and by the title of this video, I'm just gonna start off with this because it kind of leads into what we're trying to talk about. But yes, it was in 1996, and back then, me and my friends liked to go and hang out in different parts of LA. And this particular time, one of my friends, it was 2 of my closest friends in high school, and one of them was like, let's go hang out in Hollywood Boulevard. So I was like, alright. So her brother owned the car, or else we probably would have had to take the bus there, the RTD bus.
The RTD.
For those old folks, RTD. And it was just me and 2 of my friends, and her brother had, I guess, dropped us off. I don't know. And we were walking down Hollywood Boulevard in our little grunge attire. The 90s, and so we were just walking, and I remember I was on the right, and one of my friends was in the middle, and we're walking down, and all of a sudden this white, tall, thin guy, he probably looked like he was like 25 years old, he stopped us. Like, he went in front of us, and he just stood in front of us like that, and we're like, what the heck? And I remember seeing him. He was tall, white, like I described to my husband. He looked like he was like he had like blue eyes and blonde hair, and he looked like he was like very religious man. And from another state, not from here at all, like Utah or something. And he was like, he looked at my friend in the middle, and he asked her a question. It was like a trivia question. He was like, I think it was like something about his feet or his shoe or something. And he asked her, and whatever question he asked her, she answered right. She answered right. And he said, you're right. He said, so come with me. And we went with him.
Wait, how old were you in 1996?
16.
So you were 16?
I was 6. We were all roughly 16, maybe. Because I think I'm like a year older than most of my friends because of my birthday. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes any sense. I think. And so we're like 15, 16 years old.
Damn. And
we didn't, well, at least for me, I didn't think very cautiously when I was that young. I didn't think about like sex trafficking or anything like I would be stolen or kidnapping or any of that. So anyways, this guy does that, and he's like, come with me. He was very like
persuasive?
Very like, let's go.
Oh, like peppy and persuasive?
Like peppy and whatever, right? So our dumb butts go. And I remember we went into he opened the door. We went into like this long hallway, right? It was just a long hallway. Remember, very long. And on the right and the left, there was these doors, like just random doors. And we're walking. And then he opened one of the doors, and then he put us in a room, and it was like probably as small as, how small is this room right here? Like, how would you describe how small is your?
I would say maybe like it's pretty big. It's not that small. It's I would say like 20 something by 18.
Okay, like that. And
Pretty
it
big.
had chairs. I actually drew it because I had to remember it, jog my memory. But it had like chairs, regular folding chairs facing a wall. And there was like, so we sat, he told us to sit down. We sat down. And there was this like, it was dim. There was like a few people there. I'll give like 2 or 3 people already inside that room. And he put on like a projector. It was like projecting on the wall. I don't remember it being a monitor or a television. I remember it being on the wall, and it was pretty big, bigger than our television. So I don't even know where he went, but then they started like flashing like these images on the wall. It was like flowers, animals, insects, war. Like there was like war, flashes of war, flashes of just like families at the park and the world and solar system, and a lot of like different animals like killing each other, mating, having kids. Like it was really strange. And I remember it asking like flashing questions, and we were there for like 20 minutes in the room with just, it wasn't a movie. It was
Really?
like more like just flashes. And I was like thinking, what the heck is going on? And so like for 20 minutes I was sitting there, and then there was just flashing, and then all of a sudden like it turned off, and then the same guy, I believe the same guy, he opened a door, not the same door we walked in, another door across the room. He opened that door, and he called us in that door. We went, and in behind that door was a huge room, probably the size of like a gym, like a school gym, kind of like
Wow,
that.
that's just pretty big.
Yeah, so that's pretty big, right? And it was well lit. It wasn't dim or anything.
Okay.
And there was like seats and like desks everywhere.
Okay.
And he said, sit here. So me and my friends sat. We probably walked in a few feet, and then we sat down. And this woman comes out. I don't even know, again, I don't know where that dude went. And then this woman came. And she sat down next to us, and she started asking us like, so what do you guys think about the presentation? How did it make you feel? Now, I don't even really know exactly how I answered. I just remember being there, and they were just like, so how did it make you feel? Seeing those images, did it make you feel sad? Did it make you feel happy? Is that something you see on your daily basis? Is that like how your family, it was like very like strange like that. All of a sudden she came out with these cards, and she was just like, okay, put your name right here and put your address. Maybe my phone number too, I don't know. But I put my name, my full name, and back then I used my like whole name, and then I put my address. I might have put in my number, I'm not sure, because we had a landline, so. And I remember doing that, and then they gave us like this book. All 3 of us, they gave us this book, and it had like, I want to say like the Cosmos, like like that type of book.
Mm-hmm.
And I opened it, and what it was is that whole thing was about Scientology. That's what it was. They were trying to convert us to be Scientologists, I guess.
Do you feel like you were like almost like MK Ultra with those flashes, those?
I don't know. I mean, I never really like. I told my mom, but after that, everywhere I went, like everywhere I moved, not went, but everywhere I moved, even as an adult after I was married, because this happened when I was 15, 16, right? After I even got married, I had moved on. Every single address,
In Kentucky,
even in another state, they used to send me things.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember, I used to get random Scientology letters,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom used to make fun of me and used to make, oh, they found you. I used to be like, what the heck, man? What?
Yep.
I'm already in my 30s and they're sending me stuff. So I don't know what that means, but I just thought that was kind of a venture.
Yeah, that was pretty weird.
That was a weird story.
That was a weird thing.
Yeah.
Because they did send letters here and
Remember?
there. Yeah, and it was like, what? And it was like, what'd you get into? I was like, now you got me into it.
No, I never even really cared too much about that.
Yeah, but it always came like under your maiden name. So
Yeah, it was my maiden name. What does that have to do with anything, Pedro?
What does that have to do with anything? Well, it has to do with a lot of stuff. It has to do with the way people approach you and with their beliefs. So like Scientology, they almost practically MK Ultra you guys and put you in a basement and interrogated you guys and then gave you a book and then pretty much stalked you for the rest of your lives.
But they're very nice.
Oh, it's nice people. That's good.
They're very nice, very cordial, very, very nice people.
Okay. And then you got other groups, and you got other people like the people from the Westboro Church, like
Yes.
that Christian church.
Well,
And they go from one extreme. Yeah, well, I mean, they consider themselves Christians, just come from what
They
are.
do.
So then you go from one extreme to the other extreme, you know. Because even Mormons, they're nice. Mormons, they ride their bikes, or now they drive their cars and they help you move or whatnot. So they're somewhat nice. But the Christians, the Westboro Church. Tell us about the Westboro Church, baby.
Why I don't have any. I'm reading a book right now.
Okay.
It's called Unfollow, because I'm always been fascinated with different people and how they think and how they think and why they think the way they think and all that stuff. Just so obsessed with religion. And Westboro Church is considered a Baptist church in Kansas, and they're most famous by the church that pickets.
Right.
They picket gay events. They just don't picket gay events, but that is mostly what they're known for.
Yeah.
They hold up signs that say God hates not homosexuals, the word homosexuals, but it's the F word. I know we're not allowed to say it here, but that is their most famous I guess what
slogan.
People know them by slogan, yeah.
Yeah.
And they are run. It's mainly a family. At least in the beginning, they were in the family, and they just don't picket gay events. They picket veteran events.
Yeah.
Basically any tragic event that's happened, like 9/11. They picket that. They say that, thank God for those horrible things that happen.
They say thank God for AIDS.
They say thank God for AIDS. They say, I don't know if there's people out there that know Matthew Shepard, I believe his name is. They say thank God that he died the way he died.
Yeah.
You can Google who that is. Very sad story. And just their main focus is gay people. They're very, they show a lot of hate towards most of mankind, because they really think that they're the only righteous ones.
Yes.
In this world.
Yeah, and that's pretty sad because in the Bible, God tells us our greatest commandment, right? And we have two.
There is two greatest commandments,
which are
love Him with all your heart,
mind
and soul. That is the first greatest commandment. The second one is love thy neighbor like yourself.
Yeah.
And that's biblical. Those are in the Bible.
But what does love mean? Like what is to love someone like you love yourself truly mean? Because nowadays the word love gets thrown around by almost everybody. I love you, but I don't even know much about you, but yet I get it, but like what does love really mean?
Well, to me, love, the ultimate love, was when Jesus died on the cross, because he didn't even know he didn't know us. And whether you believe it or not, if you believe in the story, if it's true or or it's one of those things where it's like, oh, it's a nice story. Regardless, he died on the cross for people that he didn't even know. He died on the cross for sinners. He died for the cross for the people that spit on him, try to kill him. Or yeah, he did die, so that they did murder him. You know, he died for all that. He was sent here to do the ultimate sacrifice for us. To me, I feel like that's love. And I just know one other person that laid their life for me besides Jesus, and that was my husband, on a night that we're getting blasted.
Oh yeah.
In one of our houses, there was a drive-by, but my husband, when the bullets went through the window, I fell to the floor, and my husband laid on me. He was protecting me from the bullets, and
I was your boyfriend at the time.
yes, you're my
So.
boyfriend. But to me, that is love. To me, what's love to you?
To me, I mean, you nipped it right in the butt, but I mean, to me, it's like Jesus walked in love. You know what I mean? Like he didn't go condemning people. He went sharing his story, sharing stories, and telling them, look, I love you no matter what. You know, no matter what you've done, no matter what you do to me, I love you. You just gotta come to me. No matter what, it's like, that means you gotta forgive them for, like, even things like they haven't even done to you yet. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm gonna forgive you for, or like, for example, you're gonna forgive me for having an attitude tomorrow or 2 weeks from now. You know, can you do that? It's like, to me, I'm like, people will take advantage of it, right? Because he's gonna forgive me anyways, so I might as well mess up.
Oh, okay.
You know, you understand what I'm saying? And people take advantage of the love, of God's love. You
Of
know
God's
what I mean?
grace.
God's grace,
Yeah.
you know, and stuff like that. So I think to me, like love means to really sacrifice for another person.
Do you think Christians nowadays, mainstream Christianity, okay? Mainstream, meaning the churches, the big mega churches, you know, all those, and even some of the medium churches. Do you think they miss the mark when it comes to showing people love,
Yes,
true love?
I believe so. I think not just churches, but I think us as individuals we miss the mark because we do see homeless people hungry in the street, you know, and it's not for us to judge what they're gonna do with the money, but it is for us to have compassion for them and to like show them love and say, you know what, here's some food or here's a drink or whatnot. Or so I do believe that there's the churches, not just big, medium, I mean even small churches miss the mark on the true love and the true love of people.
I think Christians today, I want to say in general, are very far away from that message because there's only a few people in this I can probably count with my hand that are they're not going through the emotions, they're not going through the expectations, they don't really care what people think about them, and they really love people. And it's very evident. You can pretty much cipher who can, you know, you can tell who's in it from the heart and who's in it because they just feel obligated. I can tell from, you know, because, and we were out of church for roughly 10 years. And the church itself has changed a lot, and it's unfortunate, but it's also it's prophecy, right?
Yes.
The church is going to, the majority of people are going to
Get deceived.
get deceived, right?
Yeah.
And be far away from God. And there's really nothing to do with that. That is God's will.
No, you can't really pray against God's will, you know.
Not that I know of, no.
What it says, so for it is written, for it is done.
Yeah.
Right? So I mean, praying against God's will or even trying to slow God's will, it's like you're going against God. It's like, why would you go against God?
You can't go against God.
You know, so the only thing you can do is pray that you have your ducks in a row and that your family has their ducks in a row, because at the end of the day is the walk comes to about yourself. It's not about like a team effort, you know what I mean? But we can encourage each other to make it together. You know what I mean?
With love.
With love, yeah. And I would say, oh man, you sucker, you didn't pray today. I'm ahead of you, so I might make it to heaven. You not,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
not like that. Like, you know, it's like, oh babe, we should pray together.
Oh, you're talking about the Christian Olympics.
Yeah, stuff like that. So
I could do better.
you know, like we can encourage each other in love, with love, in true love, not just like I love you as my wife, but I also love you as a human being. You know what I mean? Like even like now, like Pride Month, I guess, right? Pride Month is big. What do you think Jesus would be doing right now if he was to come, if he was here?
Well, what did he do when Jesus was here?
I mean, he just showed love. He showed love. He didn't try to compete with anybody. He
didn't go out there picketing and telling them.
He told them about their sin and how their sin can, is bad or, lead them to hell or whatnot, but they should like turn over their life or, and turn over from their sin and stuff like that and to like follow God's ways and whatnot. But he never like try to like picket or hold signs and say, hey, I hate you, or
We didn't think about those people that go out there and say stuff like that. Because I noticed that I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and there's just a lot of like churches that go out there with their signs and they start yelling at the people, like yelling at them, and then that rounds the other people up, and then they come back and they start yelling, and then they end up fighting, and then the whole message is lost. Like the whole message is lost after a while because it gets heated. It gets really heated.
Yeah.
And it just causes a lot of division. I think that's like not the approach, because the story I said before we started talking about this, it relates to it because how the guy approached me. He didn't go up to me and say, you smell gross, or what you're doing is it's gonna send you to hell or anything.
Or you guys are dressed like witches.
You guys are dressed like witches and witchcraft and all that. Like he didn't say that. Like he legit tried to relate to me without knowing me. And then he was casual and he was very, like I said, he was nice. And as human beings, we respond to different stimuli. And if we're gonna like push that negative on you, you're gonna respond in a negative way. And I don't think I don't think Jesus's thing was to just go around and just start, I don't know, hustling everybody.
No, like I think, in a sense, I feel like if we were to go out there and like they say they're having a march or whatnot, and set up a table and pass out waters with like a little thingy around the water that says Jesus loves you, without being confrontational, without being argumentative, and if they want to be argumentative, that's cool. You don't have to like feed onto them. You can just say, I just want to give you a water and that's it. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm just here to show you God's love, Jesus' love. How Jesus truly loved.
But some people just love to make the other person feel smaller.
Yeah, and that's the bad part.
That's carnal.
Yeah.
That is carnal. That, to me, I feel like that's a carnal Christian. I always hear, petty stuff about being carnal, like, don't watch certain movies, don't hear certain music, dress a certain way, but to me it's like, what is being carnal is being fleshly. It doesn't just stop and end what you listen to. It doesn't stop and end what you're watching. It doesn't stop and end how you're dressed. It can start and end any way.
Yeah.
You being what? Judgmental. That's being carnal.
Yeah.
Being unloving.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even the Bible says you can't say You love me when you hate your neighbor. How can you say you love me when you hate your neighbor? So, there's a lot of things we got to stop doing. We really need to stop judging each other, like for real. Like even the Bible says the whole sty and the plank in the eye or whatnot.
The what?
The plank in the eye. The sty and the law. You have a sty.
Yeah.
You have a little whatever little thing, but you have a big old sty in your eye. So stuff like that. Like it says a lot. It says a lot that we need to stop judging each other. Like the world's already judging us. You gotta love like Christ loves the church, and He gave His life for the church. I'm not saying to give your life for like your neighbor or something, but like kind of like what was like Frankie talking about praying for your neighbor instead of arguing with them, right, or something like that. Stuff like that. Like if you hear your neighbor arguing or your neighbor's like taking your spot or barking a little too close to him, instead of like hating and saying, oh man, my neighbor's getting on my nerves, just like say, you know what, I pray for my neighbor and I wish that and I pray that he will find parking somewhere else and or maybe that's God telling you go talk to your neighbor, go fellowship with him and share me with him. And a lot of situations we missed the mark. We missed that mark a lot. So we need to stop judging and thinking that we're better than other people because we're not. And we need to start loving like Christ loved. Like
and for those people that don't go to church and maybe have like a sour taste of church or whatever, just know that the church is just a building, and there's a lot of people in that church that are they mean well, but sometimes it doesn't come out good.
Right.
Because I know Bible, it says if you don't have love, you basically everything you do don't mean nothing.
Right.
And a lot of people say it and preach it and teach it, but they don't show it. And I think it's in 1 Corinthians, right? 13:1. That's where it says you could do what? You can do all these gifts like miracles. Yeah,
you have the gift of tongues and prophecy and knowledge. You can feed the poor, sacrifice your own body, but without love, it means nothing. It's like you have like this meaningless. If you have doing it without love, it's like, love is the key to a lot of stuff.
I didn't know that.
No. Mm-mm. Well, as young kids, but then again, our growing up is different. We weren't taught love. We were taught.
No, but I mean, I didn't know that that's what Jesus wanted.
Oh, okay.
Like, I didn't know, like, the Bible. I legit did not know the Bible said that if you could do all these things, you could preach, you can teach, you can be in ministry, you can do a lot of these things. But if you don't have love in your heart, like, for real, though, if you don't have love in your heart, that means nothing. And it just doesn't say it means nothing. It says you are nothing. Like, I am nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
And it shows a lot. It shows a lot that people do miss a mark because of all this hate that goes around.
Yeah.
And I think the media and I think politicians have a lot to do with it.
Right.
A lot to do with this just hostility and hate that's going around for each other.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
What I think.
For sure, that you can tell there's a lot of division going on in the media, and as far as like vaccine, not vaccine, mask, unmask, abortion, no abortion, like everything is like let's just fight against each other, let's just pin them against each other, and let's just make them fight, But for everything, I in my family, I have I have family members that are homosexuals, that belong to the community, the alphabet community, the LGBTQ, whatever it may be, and I love them because not just because they're my family, because inside that body there's a soul, It's a human being.
That's what people forget.
You know, and you can't dehumanize a human being just because you feel strongly about something else. Like that's not what God would. No, that's not what Jesus would do. Jesus would love that person, and myself, I couldn't see myself turning away from any of my family members or a friend or a family member of yours or anything that may be struggling in that way and say, no, get away from me because, you know, you sinful heathen, you know, get behind me saying, no. You know, I would like come over, you know, come over to my house. You know what I'm about. They know what I'm about. And let's share life. Let's talk and you tell me, you know, you want to talk about it and I'll tell you what I think about it and I'll tell you what God says about it, you know, but at the end of the day, I love them because of they're human, you know, they're human beings.
And that's what people forget.
Yes.
People forget that they're humans. They have souls just like us.
They have feelings.
And they forget that anybody can slip up. Anybody can slip up. Everybody wants to judge on people's sin because they sin different way like you know, from you.
Yeah.
You know? I see a lot of that. But I just it's unfortunate. And it's not just the gays, it's a lot of people, like, you know, people that struggle with alcoholism. People that struggle with just drugs in general, you know.
Cursing,
I don't know what else.
saying bad words, staying faithful.
Oh yeah, those people. You know, and it's just, people just forget one of the greatest commandments other than loving God is love thy neighbor, love people. I believe that's why God
Like you love
died
yourself.
for us.
Yeah.
I believe God died for us to forgive our sins too, but he also made an example
Jesus, yeah.
to love. Yeah, I mean Jesus, yeah. He made an example. He was sent here to die for us, and people forget. People get too involved with their own ego. Like, look at me. I go to church. I'm in ministry. Look at me. I never cuss. Look at me. I never drink. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. How do you think with the abortion topic, how do you think Jesus will respond with that? You know, Planned Parenthood being in certain places and having pictures of dead babies and having their bodies exposed, you know. How do you think Jesus would?
Man, that's a good one. I think he would. I think he would weep. I think he would cry. I think he would break down because it's a sad thing to see. You know, dead babies and helpless beings. You know, being murdered for whatever reason, maybe. You know, whether you're whatever you may think. You know, but I think overall it's just seeing a baby in his human form outside of the womb bleeding or torn apart. It's heartbreaking and gut wrenching. So I believe Jesus would cry and weep, and I think he will preach about the love and how precious life is. You know.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people would change their mind if Jesus was here and he was given the opportunity, like a platform, to really preach and let you know and stuff like that. I think things would change.
I think people get offended really quick, super quick. It's hard to talk to people from different topics because things get heated. Because what the media shows, you know, they always show the Christian, you know, calling the other person, oh, you sinner, oh, you're gonna go to hell, and that's what people see, that most Christians are like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, some Christians are like that, you know. I'm not gonna be here and say, oh, none of us are like that, you know. Like, we're all perfect and all loving, and it's not like that at all.
It isn't.
There's some Christians that are very judgmental and be the first one to call you out, but they were very quiet on what they do. But, you know, and being that way, it does not bring anything to the table.
No.
At all. shouting at people, and because nobody knows each other's story. You don't know if that woman was raped, and I'm not saying that the baby in her belly deserves to be murdered as well, but I'm saying the surface of the problem, because there's underlying problems. The surface is and what people are saying, she was raped. There's a problem. I'm pregnant.
Right.
Right. I don't want to carry a rapist baby. I mean, there's lines to that. Like, there's different reasons behind a woman doing what she thinks is right.
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 Yeah. So just imagine if someone took time and gave her compassion, showed her compassion, love, and sat there and listened to her story. Maybe that life could have been saved. The baby's life. And that's what we're simply talking about, and even if it's afterwards, and they had the procedure, you still have to love on that person. You can't condemn them and say, you killed your baby, you're going to hell. You can't be like that. You got to be like, what, we get that the mistake was done or whatever, but if you ask God to forgive you, He will forgive you
and go on
and move forward from what the mistake that you've done, and you will be forgiven, for sure. Like God's mercy is understandable to us, but understandable to us, but He understands it really well, God. So to us, it's like grace is like, oh man, I'm probably not gonna be able to do it, but you don't ever know. Like, there's a lot of people in the Bible that done a lot of stuff that God's grace was sufficient for them. It was like, boom, David.
I always think of David.
Oh, me too, David. All these people. So, like,
Mary Magdalene.
Yeah, even her. She was an adulteress, I guess, and He didn't judge her. He loved on her, and she became a homie.
Wasn't she a prostitute?
Yeah.
Oh.
So she became a homie. He didn't judge her. So there's a reason why he surrounded himself. He surrounded himself with like thugs, not thugs, but like fishermen and stuff like that.
When he found Marilyn, I was gonna say Marilyn Manson. When he found Mary Magdalene, wasn't the story that she was getting stoned?
Yeah, she was about to get stoned.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So see, even then they were judging her for being a prostitute, and they were about to like stone her because she was being with married men. But they weren't gonna stone the married man. They were gonna stone her. So so they were gonna get her, and then Jesus said, "Hey, let he without sin cast the first stone," and everybody's like, "Oh, dang, dude."
So what does that mean to the people that don't understand? What does that mean?
let him without any fault. Let him who is perfect throw the first stone. So in other words, if you're perfect in everything that you do, and there's no fault in what you do, then you can go ahead and judge everybody and cast your stone. So that is the modern way of casting stones, by judging, by using our words. So if you think you're perfect, go ahead and judge your way, and then you're gonna get judged on that. But if you know you're not perfect, understand people do things because there's an underlying issue for everything. So don't go judge and say, oh man, this guy just wants attention. Yeah, maybe he just wants attention, but what kind of attention does he want? What does he need? Maybe he just wants to hear. Maybe you don't know what's going on at home, with his wife, at work, or with their husband, with the kids, with whomever it may be, with their mom, their dad, their cousins, their aunts, whatever it may be. So it's all about just taking the time and truly love on the person. Give them the time of day. Give someone the time. Just say, hey, how are you? Oh, okay. Okay, good. Just walk away.
Oh, yeah.
That's like, oh, how are you? Oh, good. And then just walk away. And it's just
what is it? Generic small talk?
Yeah. Like one time I'm gonna say, I'm actually having a hard time, and just to see what people walk away.
Someone asked me a couple days ago, they're like, how are you? And I was like, oh, I'm having a high C. And they're like, oh, high C, yeah. I grade my days. Today is a C+.
Did they ask you why you having a C+ day? They're like,
No.
oh, okay, yeah, have a good one.
No, they didn't ask me why. They said, sometimes I have days like that too.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes I have, I forgot what they said, but they understood what I meant.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's funny though.
That's great. Have a good day.
Okay, well, I know. Have a good one. Yeah, but that's what happens though. Is that and that's what that is what I mean about it, the word love and everything that we do is losing its flavor. It's just like we just go through the motions like a script, but we really need to stop and truly hear how people are doing. That's what I believe. That's what I think Jesus would do, and that's what I think He would want us to do. Because how else will you really pray for someone, or how can you really truly love on someone if you don't know them? You know, you got to know them and you got to pray on them, pray for them. Not pray on them like, no, you know, pray for them because you love them and you want them to do good and you want them to go to heaven. You know, so that's how you really like get to really know someone and truly love a person is give them the time of day and sacrifice some of your time. Some of your time. We have a lot of time in our hands that we can be sharing with each other with the phone call or whatever, you know, better in person. But I think it's as simple as show your love in that sense. Give them time and give them your time and your ears and your undivided attention. Because we all need to talk and we all need someone to listen to us.
Yep.
I think that's what Jesus would do.
He did that, didn't he?
Yeah. He just listened and then he was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna tell you a story of how what I did or a story of this, a story of that, or you know, or whatever it may be, and that's how he did it, parables and stories.
And then they talked to him back, and then he talked to them back, and stuff like that. Oh, wow.
It's not as hard as we have to make it now. Bum, 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 bum.
Oh.
That doesn't have to be that hard, you know.
Make an
just,
appointment.
Yeah,
Get your date, your agenda out.
No.
No, back then it was different, I guess.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to be Christ-like, right?
Yeah. Christ-like.
Yeah. So the greatest commandment is to love.
Love, love, love. So don't forget to love, love, love.
Love, love, love.
And don't overuse the love, love, love. If you want to say I love you, then show the love.
But be real about it, right?
Yes.
We're supposed to be real.
Be genuine. Don't be fake about it. Oh, I love you, and then it's like, oh man, this guy is needy. Oh, I don't wanna talk to him because he talks too much, and then I get lost or it annoys me. So I'll just pretend to say hi, and then I'm like, I'll walk away from him. That's not real love, you know. That's and what I always say to the young adults and other people is like, I can lie to you, but I can't lie to God. So you can lie to the person you don't want to talk to, you're not loving on, but God knows that you're not being genuine, you're not being real about your love. So you know, God knows. Just God knows. Simple. God knows.
That completes our 5th video.
So yeah, that will be the end of episode 5. You let us know what you think about what love means to you, and if you've ever been in a situation where people ask you like how you been, and then they walk away after you say, oh, you know what, I had a hard day, but they're not really paying attention to you, or if you feel like talking about something, you know, you can always message us, DM us, or whatever, and I'll listen to you. I'll listen to your story. I don't mind listening to stories. There's Susia right there.
We're actually, this is, yeah, there she goes. Oh my gosh.
She's being reckless.
Come
on.
We're actually looking for people.
You okay?
Yeah.
Did she scratch you?
Yes. We're looking for people to do, if you feel like you have a story to tell.
Yes.
You feel like you're interesting, or you have a story or something insignificant you want to say, we're actually looking people to do not interviews.
If you want to be a part of the cast of the episode, and you want to share a story, share your story, or share something that you experienced. DM us, talk or whatever, get in contact with us somehow, and then we'll set it up somehow so we can put you in the show and see what you got to say.
So thank you for tuning in.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following. Don't forget to comment. And we'll see you next Friday when we'll talk about...
I don't know. We'll think of something.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So don't
or
worry.
maybe tell us what you want us to talk about.
Yeah. Drop some hints. You know, we can either talk about ourselves, talk about how we grew up, talk about marriage, talk about conspiracies, talk about different
Politics, religion,
lifestyles, I guess.
cats,
Kitties that are like weird.
anything.
Yeah. So anyhow, so that's episode 5. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to comment, share, and like. Bye.